Welcome, my dear students. Once again, we are meeting for a new chapter. As I promised, that this time, though this chapter is from supplementary, but I would explain it. So let us start. Evans tries an O level. It is a story of a criminal named Evans. In this story, Colin Dexter shows how an individual is able to shake the entire police department with his cleverness and ingenuity. It was in early March when the secretary of the examinations board received the call from Oxford prison. It's a slightly unusual request, Governor, but I don't see why we should not try to help. Just the one fellow, you say? So, in these lines, it is actually about March, and there is a call from Oxford prison. He said that it was a strange request, but they wanted to help the person. He also confirmed that there was just one person, as he had said. That's it. Chap called Evans started night classes in O-level German last September. Says he is dead keen to get some sort of academic qualification. Is he any good? He was the only one in the class, so you can say he has had individual tuition all the time. Really, would have cost him a packet if he had been outside. Well, let's give him a chance, shall we? That's jolly kind of you. What exactly is the procedure now? Oh, don't worry about that. I'll be sending you all the forms and stuff. What is his name, you say? Evans? James Roderick Evans. It sounded rather grand. Just one thing, Governor. He is not a violent sort of fellow, is he? I don't want to know his criminal record or anything like that, but no, there is no record of violence. Quite a pleasant sort of chap, they tell me. Bit of a card, really. One of the stars at the Christmas concert. Imitations, the sort of thing. Mike Yarwood stuff. No, he is just a congenital kleptomaniac. That's all. The governor was tempted to add something else, but he thought better of it. He had look after the particular side of the things himself. Sorry, he would look after that particular side of a thing himself. So now it is time to explain. So in this paragraph, the governor confirmed that there was only one person for the examination named Evans. He also told him that Evans started taking night classes in O-level of German language last September. He was interested in achieving educational qualification. The secretary asked whether Evans was good at studies or not. The governor replied that he was the only one who attended classes. So we can infer that he received individual tuition for the said course. Taking such a class outside the prison would have cost him a lot of money. On hearing this, the secretary agreed to give him a chance. The governor appreciated him for his decision and also asked about the whole process. The secretary replied that he would send all the forms required for the examination. He asked the prisoner's name, and the governor replied that his name was James Roderick Evans. The secretary also sought clarification whether Evans was a violent person or not. The governor said that there was no such record. He was a nice guy, a bit humorous, and was a star at the Christmas musical performance. He compared him to be the comedian Mike Yarwood because of his copying acts. He also added that he suffered from kleptomania, which urged him to steal. The governor wanted to tell something more, but he decided that he would keep a check on that. Presumably, said the secretary, you can arrange a room where? No problem, he is in a cell on his own. If you have no objections, he can sit the exam in there. That's fine. And we could easily get one of the parsons from St. Mary's Mags to invigilate. If that is fine, yes. They seem to have a lot of parson there, don't they? The two men chuckled good naturedly, and the secretary had a final thought. At last, there is one thing. You should not have much trouble keeping him incommunicado, should you? The governor chuckled politely once more, reiterated his thanks, and slowly cradled the phone. Evans. And now we have some hard words and their meanings. You can find out the one which you find difficult. An explanation. The secretary asked the governor if he could arrange a room for the exam. The governor replied that there was no such problem because Evans was in his own lockup, so they could conduct the exam there if the secretary had no problem with it. The secretary found it suitable. The governor also told him that they would call a churchman from a nearby church, St. Mary Mag's, who would keep a check on Evans during the examination. The secretary laughed that the church had a good number of priests and one could be assigned the job of supervision. The secretary questions the governor that if it was easy to stop Evans from communicating with the other person. The governor laughed and thanked him for accepting his request. He then put the receiver of the phone back on rest and called for Evans. Evans the Break, as the prison officers called him. Thrice he had escaped from prison, and but for the recent wave of unrest in the maximum security establishments up north, he would not now be gracing the governor's premises in Oxford. And the governor was going to make absolutely certain that he would not be disgracing them. Not that Evans was a real burden, just a persistent, nagging presence. He would be all right in Oxford, though the governor would see to it personally, and beside, there was just a possibility that Evans was genuinely interested in O-level German. Just a slight possibility, just a very slight possibility. At 8:30 p.m. on Monday 7 June, Evans' German teacher shook him by the hand in the heavily guarded recreational block just across from D Wing. Guten Glück. Hey Evans. Pardon? I said good luck. Good luck for tomorrow. I said good luck for tomorrow. Oh, thanks. Danke Sean. You have not a cat in hell's chance of getting through, of course, but I may surprise everybody, said Evans. What meanings are given? Now explanation. Evans had escaped from prison thrice due to the recent unrest in the highly guarded areas of the north. He would not be allowed to be present at the governor's residence in Oxford. The governor did not want to be disgraced by Evans. Evans was not a burden, but his presence was uncomfortable. The governor planned to supervise him personally when he visited Oxford. It was possible that Evans was actually interested in adding up to his qualification by learning German. Adding up to